Although you can see how even having a highway, even highways can get overloaded with traffic quite easily. Alright, fire station and police station and bus stops and more commercial. Of course there's no power. Of course there's no power. Alright, come on. There we go. Oh, am I doing medium? I've been doing medium. Okay. Change that real quick. Also need water down here. Do the water last. Also, building multiple cities like this, it allows your city to specialize. Like for example, back end next door, it's kind of specialized into a commercial / residential city. But the problem with that is that if all the people are residential there, then they all have to travel somewhere else to find work. And that creates traffic problems. So we're creating this, this zoning problem across city boundaries too. I mean, you can have them all live there and work somewhere else, but then have to travel to work through another city. So then you create traffic problems in multiple cities, which is kind of crazy. And you see the way I'm setting out this city. I have these giant squares, right? Let me just zoom out and go to X underground mode and go to zones. But you see how I've, it's like I separate the different zones, so it's kind of industrial here, residential there, and commercial there. So it's not all clustered together. I didn't put all the residential on one side and then all the commercial on the other side. If I did that, then everybody would have to travel all the way across the city to get to work. Whereas like this, they don't have to travel quite as far to get to work. If we just kind of look at, for example, that house, they're only going to there and to there to work. And these guys are only going to there to work. You don't have to travel across the city. Some of these guys, okay, I thought they were. I think some of these guys were traveling down here to get to work, but it seems like, oh, see that there. That's a problem because they're traveling from here all the way to get there to get to work. And so what happens is, you create traffic all along here between them and work. There's stuff like that. Like these guys are traveling all the way to there to work, so they're loading up these roads. So the shorter the distance between home and work, the less of a traffic problem you have. You see how that works? Alright, let's zone more high density things. Zones, high density. Let's put more of that. In fact, let's put more of that here, because this is too large. This is kind of, because we see some of these guys traveling over there to work. Maybe if we zone more high density here, and if this increases in density, then they don't have to travel that far anymore. They can find a job right next to them. So this is why mixed use is an interesting idea. So if you kind of mix it up and have residential and commercial kind of close together, or even in the same buildings, then people don't have to travel, and then you reduce the traffic problem in your city. It also means that people aren't wasting time sitting in traffic, because that's a problem too. If they're sitting in traffic, they're not being productive. Imagine, like, if a city of 1 million people, and every day they have to spend an hour in traffic, So you're losing a million hours of productivity every single day because they're sitting in traffic instead of either having a good time at home or working, you know, or doing anything else that's actually useful or actually, not sitting in traffic. So it has consequences. It's not like, oh, we don't like traffic and therefore we just can't avoid it. It's not just about that. It's about actual productivity. And, people wasting time and wasting gas as they sit in traffic, So there's all sorts of resource issues there as well. What is that? That's amazing. So yeah, bad traffic is not just, I mean, for most people it's just annoying. But if you think about it at a city scale, it's actually not good for your productivity. It's not good for the city. I mean, at some point, it becomes a big enough problem that, oh wait, there's not enough power. Water? Nope. Graphs, come back. Like, it becomes enough of a problem that you really need to do something about it. How much is water? Monthly cost 3. Okay, I'm not gonna put in 3,000. Let's just put in one extra pump. Still doing good. There's kind of empty space there. Let's put in a few parks. Like there is, we don't need to reduce pollution here. I think basketball courts are actually really good at demand cap busting, and I think tennis courts are really good at demand cap busting. Let's just put in, maybe it's tennis courts. I think it's tennis courts that's really good at breaking the demand cap. Okay. Oh look, industry. They want more industry. What should we do about that? That's fully developed almost. Abandoned due to low desirability. What's going on here? Desirability, high tech. It's not that low. I mean, it's kind of little low. It's not that low. We've got air pollution problems, is what we've got. Alright, let me go to our ordinances and put in Clean Air Act. That's gonna cost a lot of money, I know that. 700, that's not too bad. Put in Clean Air Act. And in fact, we might also put in, don't we have a vehicle, okay, Automobile Emissions Reduction Act. Okay, there we go, there goes $1,400 a month. That should reduce pollution a little bit. It's not really good. It's not a good solution though. Desirability. Let me just check that again. Desirability for high tech. It's not that bad. It's mostly pollution. If we look at the air pollution, you can see that there. That's most of the problem. We can demolish some factories and change it to parks to improve the pollution situation. Like this, 12 out of 20, 41 out of... Yeah, none of them are... Well, actually some of them. Most of them are not going at maximum potential. What to do? Alright. It's gonna hurt, because I haven't, set room aside for parks. But we're gonna put some parks in. See, one there, one there. Alright, let's put in 2 lines of parks. And this is going to cause some problems. Ouch. And destroy some factories. That's okay. It's gonna be worth it in the long run. Just keep telling myself that's gonna be worth it in the long run. Ouch. Look at all these factories being demolished. Alright, There we go, and there we go. Okay, now we put down the parks, and we put down a lot of trees as well, because we need to reduce pollution. Parks, small park green. There we go, open grass area. We can zone more industrial areas somewhere else. I guess this being in the middle of the city is not good neither, because people who are traveling across city to get to work also contribute to the air pollution in this place because of the traffic that they generate. Wait a minute, did I destroy some... No, I didn't destroy any bus stops, never mind. So that's kind of nice, like a pretty line of green grass in the middle of the city. And trees, man, trees. Can I put trees in the middle? No, I can't put trees in the middle of the road. Let's just crank this up to about $200 worth of trees if I can. So this is gonna be kind of boring as I sit here and scrub. There we go, 200. Oh, I missed one. That won't do. Alright, let's planting trees. I don't think this is how things work in real life. I don't think trees are this powerful at reducing pollution in real life. I mean, trees are good to have. This seems a little unrealistic. And you know, the cars are kind of set too, like you can't give them hybrids to drive. You think if they have high-tech industries, maybe they can build hybrids instead. Somebody call Elon Musk and ask him for some Teslas, you know? Then we don't have this air pollution problem, right? Car crashes indicate congestion problems. That's just a simulation telling you what's wrong with your city. And come on, there we go, more trees. So I think that should improve desirability in this part of the town quite a bit. Just because we put down a bunch of parks and things. Oops, I let go of the mouse. I just want to see high density, high tech factories. Is that one that's being built? It's getting quite tall. I don't know, it looks kind of big. 44, no, it's not that big. It's kind of big. Alright, more trees. Alright, that's good. More trees. So I think we can see a lot less degraded factories here. If we look at these factories, they might be in fact fully employed. Let's just quickly check these. So that's like 88 out of 91, so that's pretty good. So they're fairly close to fully employed. A few parks make a lot of difference for high-tech factories. Alright. We might be able to get the space shuttle by the end of this recording session. Maybe in a video or two we'll get the space shuttle. Because, you know, there's that. There's plenty of demand for high-tech factories. Alright, so we've put in some parks. Let's just check the desirability again. See, this is much greener than before. Actually, that's a huge improvement. Might want to do that as well. Let me just see what's going on here. So is that 27 out of 55? 39 out of 91, so it's only half of the maximum possible employment there. I think I'll do the same thing here. Let me just also just job and population. Let's just turn off. See that there? That's the high-tech industry. See that? So putting it in the parks actually gave us several thousand more jobs. Even though I had to demolish factories to fit those parks in, once you put them in, all the neighboring factories get better employment rates. And that number just kind of shoots up a little bit there. That's quite good. In fact, we might... Well, it won't be as powerful here, because the pollution problem is not quite as bad here. But even so, you can see how... Oops, that's a police station. A lot of these are only about half or 2/3 of full employment. So let me just do the same thing here. So you know, I mean, maybe that's a... You don't want to make that rookie mistake, thinking, oh, wait a minute, if I just put more, you know, I'll just zone more things. I'll just zone more factories and I'll get more high-tech employment. You know, just make more zones, man, make more zones. Yes and no, you know. Sometimes reducing the zones can increase the high-tech employment, like this. Which is a much better idea, right? So let's put all these parks in. And in fact, I might do the same for some of the commercial things. Remember, in the commercial and the residential, what we've done is actually left space for parks, or we've put in low density things for parks later on. So if we kind of demolish some of those houses and then turn them into parks, that might actually improve the that might actually increase the density, or increase at least the occupation rates of some of these skyscrapers. But that's not a problem yet, and we might fix that and we'll do it later. For now, let's just get the space shuttle, because we want to go to space. Go to space, man. Come on, more trees. You want more trees? There we go. Fit those trees in. It's also not very sensible to plant dense forests inside a city, because what happens is bad things happen. You know, people get mugged at night, and worse. In the city, like it's not simulated in this game, but if you want kind of a safe city, what you do is you make everything visible. You don't kind of give people places to hide. I remember in Seattle, when I went there for the conference, and they were taking us on a tour, or it's a limit of walking tour of the city, of the parks in the city. And there was one park with this really interesting sculpture, but it gave people places to hide. And like when we were there, like there were a couple of people smoking meth, like in the middle of it, and you couldn't see them from the street. And we just walked past them, and I don't think anyone... I'm not sure how many of the others actually noticed what they were doing there. They were just kind of sitting around in the sculpture. I'm pretty sure they were smoking meth. Like they had these kind of hollow pins. I didn't actually see any smoke. Maybe they were kind of preparing to smoke meth. But yeah. They seemed okay. Maybe it's not meth. Maybe it's something else. They don't seem too messed up. They seem to be doing okay. So, or maybe they haven't been smoking very long. But they were doing something, right? You know, why would you sit? Like it was a strange place to sit. And I asked the tour guide. Like, the tour guide was telling me like what an interesting sculpture there was. And I was asking him, isn't this like a safety problem? And he says, yeah, people are concerned about it. Yeah, but it's a cool sculpture. So yes. Anyway, so the moral of the story then, and what you should take away from this is that one, Seattle has nice sculptures, and two, if you want, you know, your city to be safe, you really want to avoid giving people places to hide, to smoke meth, because if you give people places to hide, then things will happen in those places. And smoking meth is not the worst thing that can happen, right? Worst things can happen. People get mugged. People get bad things happen to them. Violence, things like that. So yeah. So there you go, urban design. So what I'm doing now is actually not good because once you put in a forest, oh my, it's like it's a dangerous place. Like imagine you have a little girl walking on the street, some nasty guy just kind of pulls her into the forest, and then nobody sees, right? You just kind of look out for traffic. You don't see any cars around. You just kind of grab them and pull them into the forest, and then no one can see them anymore. And then, guess what happens to little girls inside the forest? Bad things. If you read Little Red Riding Hood between the lines, the wolf is not really a wolf. And yeah, so read that story again from an adult perspective. Alright, so there we go. Let me just see what happens there. So you see, we put in the parks, and again, the employment jumped. Just because people like parks, and so they want to work there now. Amazing. So I don't want to hear any of you free market guys tell me about small government and cutting funding for parks and pretending that's good for your businesses, because it's not, alright? Some things you need to provide, alright? If you want your business to thrive, having the government build a park next to your business is actually a good thing. I hate those free market guys. This is so obsessed with small government. It's not like that, the government actually serves a purpose. Anyway, enough ranting. What else should we do? We should build some... Wow, look at that, it's even higher than before. We should... Oh, look, are these high density commercial things? You see here, like the commercial, look at that, that's only 135 out of 251, so again, these are like half employment. So I put some parks in here as well. That should improve those quite a bit. The residential stuff seem okay. Let me just check these. Yeah, the residential stuff seem mostly... Oh, look, that's a high-ish density, high wealth thing. Look at that. Let's just check this building out. Would you want to live here? We're zooming in. Is this a nice place to live? What is that on the roof? That's a nice roof. You kind of come up here and have coffee or iced chocolate. I don't drink coffee. Nice balconies, a lot of glass. There we go. That's pretty fancy. Let's check the crime rate. Crime rate is pretty much still the same. I guess that's you can't really get it much lower than that. Small shops, but there's a lot of them. This is kind of like medium density, low wealth commercial. So, ooh, look, all the demand is used up. That's great. Alright, so we're going to zone more industry. I just don't know where to zone it. I can zone it here. Should we zone it there? There's pollution here though, there's air pollution. Let me just check the air pollution. See there? Oh no, it doesn't bleed out too much. It doesn't actually bleed over too far. Okay. So what I think... Wow, I need to check this. That is... Okay. I'll need a second clinic there. I didn't even notice. So in the time that we took to build all those parks and plant those trees, a bunch of skyscrapers have appeared. Look at that. All the demand is... All the... there we go, there's another one getting built. All the hospital and school capacity is getting used up. So the city is growing upwards, not outwards. What is this? High wealth? Wow, cool. Let's just check this out. Would you live in there? Would you live in this? I mean, it's pretty fancy there. Look at that roof. Interesting shapes. But the apartments are mostly just kind of glass boxes, I guess the furnishings make the difference. Would you live in a place like that? I think the main objection would be the lack of parks nearby, because I mean there's not much, there's not much kind of open space for you to just hang out in this part of town. Anyway, let's not worry about that too much. Uh, and okay, let's actually I don't think I'll build it. Oh, I don't have any high density zoned here, do I? I don't think I'll put the industrial stuff here, because the problem right now is that this highway is highly congested. Or actually, maybe it's not a problem. Because what's going on is they're coming down one side of the highway. They're not going up the other side. So if we look at traffic, like they're coming down this way to get to this city. Whereas if I build the high-tech industry here and they travel from here to work, they're on the other side of the road, which is not congested. See, there's only 278 cars there, whereas there's 8,000 cars there. So I was thinking, if I put the industry here and people kind of move up from these two suburbs to get to work, then yeah, we get traffic problems. But that might not be the case. See, there's only 61. It's 8,000 and there's only 61 on the other side. So I think that's actually okay. Maybe I'll save the game before I do that. How's the money looking? Good, good. Like putting the parks in also improves the tax income as well, because because the factories are being are employed at a higher rate. So there's more people paying taxes there as well. So you spend money on the parks, but you get more back in tax income. So they these guys, like, they're cutting taxes and cutting services. It doesn't work like that, the real world doesn't work like that. It's not like you save $1, you get another, like if you save $1, you don't always get that dollar. Like, if you save $1 in costs and you lose $10 in tax income, that's not good finances. You see what I mean? Sometimes you have to spend money to make money. And so just cutting costs and just kind of blindly cutting costs is not always the best way to run anything. Not a city, not a business, not a country. It doesn't always work like that. Austerity doesn't really work. I mean, sometimes it works. If you're genuinely overspending, then yeah, austerity might be a good idea. But if you cut things without really thinking about what it is you're cutting, that can hurt you more than help you.